50 everybody, and welcome back. The Black community makes up 22% of New York City's population, but only 3.5% of businesses in the city are owned by Black entrepreneurs.
Yeah, to help encourage business ownership, Blackbox Franchising is putting on a local event. And joining us with more on the event are Kika Wise, founder of Kika Stretch Studios, and Daren Hawthorne, owner of Golden Krust. So good morning to both of you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We want to hear a little bit more about your individual businesses. Kika, we'll start with you and tell us about your studio.
Yeah, so I started my business with $500, a ball and a mat.
Wow.
I was a professional dancer and I wanted to provide for my son, who was at the time 6 months old, single mother. So I took my $500 and I started a stretch studio. So you come, we help release all the tension in your body, and it follows the dancer's approach to stretch. So it took off. People thought I was crazy, but it took off and became a whole industry.
Wow, $500 in a dream, right? There you go. And then you founded, I think we all know it and we all love it.
Yes, we do.
Golden Krust.
So actually, my father founded it and his siblings. I'm a second generation Golden Krust employee, I'll say, an officer. A long story short, they migrated to Jamaica, from Jamaica, and started a business, Golden Krust. They just sold patties in 1989, started franchising in 96, and 35 years later, we are the largest Black franchisor in the country, with a bunch of
that is amazing.
With a bunch of franchisees, and we're also in retail across the United States.
Okay, sorry about that.
You're okay.
That's amazing. In the whole country, not just New York.
Yeah, we're in 9 states, and in the retail sector, we're in all 50 states.
That's cool.
But that's not where you started, obviously. You don't end up just starting and everyone's a franchise. You start small. How do you even begin to think of becoming a franchise?
Yeah, so for me, it started when I had 2 locations. I was tired. I wanted to scale, but I didn't know how to do it without burning myself out. So I started researching, and I was like, wow, franchising is a great way to spread your brand and also just help more people and allow people to try the brand, try the product, but also help people make a living from the business.
How many do you have now?
We have 7 now.
Wow, that's amazing. Here's the thing, though, right? When for both of you, if you're 500, people are going to say $500. How did she do it?
Yes.
So were there investors that came on after that? Like, how did it happen?
Self-funded the whole time.
Yeah.
Wow.
What I learned and what people can do is just start with a good product service and just use your customers almost as investors. So invest the money back into your business until it's covering expenses, and then you can grow from there.
Yeah, but some people are like, well, how do you know if it's even a good idea to start?
We always say you have to jump at one point, right? And if you even started a business, you've already made some sort of leap. And the good thing about the franchising business is ultimately the money that comes in is other entrepreneurs. So you've got less risk on your own standpoint. However, it's up to you to be able to support those franchisees that ultimately invested in you.
Yeah, so how do they get involved? Or they buy into the company?
Correct. So they will reach out to your company that you're franchising. Say, hey, I'm interested in this idea. What's next? You get in touch with them, and you kind of talk about the business and walk them through the path of becoming a franchisee.
I guess the question is, when you're a franchisee, right, how much of the profit, if you're the owner of that franchise, are they making, and how much is getting back to the main business?
So it just depends. Most businesses you'll hope that they'll get between 10 to 20% from a franchisee level. And the franchisor will typically receive anywhere between 12% for royalties, and about 3 to 7% in advertising fees.
Well, I love that you're doing this event, because starting a business alone seems daunting, but then making it become a franchise, you're going to walk people through this. So tell us a little bit about the event and what you're actually going to do.
Yeah, so it's at Zona de Cuba on July 27th, 1 to 4 p.m. And this event is really just highlighting rock your own brand, and that's actually the theme. So when people come, they'll be wearing their own brands, talking about their brands, and just understanding that there's a difference between businesses and brands. And so we're encouraging the small business community to learn how to build a brand the right way.
Yeah, and I would say it is a time to network and a time to learn, because one of the reasons why people specifically in our community are not franchisors is the lack of knowledge. And that's sort of how and why we got together.
Or is it money, too? Because, right, the Wendy's, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts of the world, those are really expensive to buy into the franchisee. What's the difference between them and buying a franchise of a smaller business?
So I think ultimately there are so many different types of franchises, and there's such a range from how much they cost. But from a franchisor standpoint, again, once you've got a good product and a good brand, you can ultimately go out there and sell it. Sell it to your avatar who you think can afford it, who is the appropriate partner. And that's how you can scale and grow without utilizing your own money as a franchisor.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I love that you're doing this event because, as they say, if you see it, you can be it.
When and
right?
where? When and where?
It's at Zona de Cuba in the Bronx on July 27th from 1 to 4.
Good stuff.
We've got 5 terrific panelists. There's going to be a lot of entrepreneurs in the room, aspiring entrepreneurs, and people that are very successful, and startups. We're all there to mingle and network and get to know the best of one another.
Good stuff.
Learning from the best of the best. Thanks
right.
to the both of you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you
We're
for
going to
having
keep
us.
a close eye on our mailroom for those beef patties. All right?